This is the 10th year. We started in 2015. And I'm surprised it's still continuing. And we went through a little problem during COVID. We went online for some time. Now we are hybrid mode. And I'm happy to see that interest is still there. And interestingly, this year, we are going from El Nino to La Nina. And that's what happened almost 10 years ago. Okay. So just let me give you a brief was this one? Yeah, thank you. Just click. This one work, I think, right? This is better. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just give you a brief review of what happened in the last 9 years. If you look at the seasonal mean rainfall in the last 9 years, the lowest was in the very first year, that was 2015, because of El Nino, and the highest was in 2019, which was a very unusual year. Neither El Nino nor La Nina, and some unusual feature, especially the September. Okay? So, also by and large, you look at the 9 years, by and large, it's typical, but if you look at monthly, there were some real surprises. Look at June 2019, it was one of the lowest, that was the highest. Right? And then July was by and large, okay, it was weird, but 2015 was somewhat low. Okay? Now, to give you a brief reminder, 2015 was the year when Modi took over as the Prime Minister 1 year later. And IMD had a great confidence and made a prediction of a drought, okay, in 2015 because of the El Nino. And we had a meeting with Modi around August 20th, 2015, if I remember correctly. And he made some remarks about the monsoon was still at that point almost normal, not quite close to normal. And the arrival to IMD, that is climate, I made a prediction to be normal. She made some remarks saying that maybe the private guys are doing better than IMD. So within a month, situation changed, and you can see August was bad, September also below normal, and then we hit a drought. Okay, so IMD's prediction came out right. Okay, although in the middle of the season it didn't look. So next year IMD will be very confident. It was the same thing like this year, El Nino to La Nina, okay, transition. And they assumed it will be about 110%, but it was very low. Okay, so they got it completely wrong, and I suspect it is because there was also a positive video at that time. But this has not been analyzed. I don't know. I didn't want aware anybody explain why La Nina gave pretty low rainfall. Oh, the technical is not a drought; it's a normal. Yeah. Yeah. So this is another fact I accounted for, is not accounted. I recommend the paper on that. You can look at it. Okay. So so this is it. So this year also we are going through the same transition. Okay. So there is expectation all around. You'll see that everybody is saying we are about normal, and let's hope so, because if you look at the grain that India has kept in reserve for emergency, which we have to. We're a huge country. If you have a major drought, they cannot import much grain. No other country can. So we have to manage. You look at a grain, what do you call, reserve, it has gone down substantially. You know why? Because of COVID, government handed out a lot of grains to 800 million Indians. Okay? It worries me. We are talking about being a developed country. We are giving more than half the population grain freely. So there is some problem we have to worry about. So because of that, the grain thing has gone down. So it's very important India has a good yield this year. Otherwise, it'll go down further. So that's very important. Okay. So that's the background. And you can see last 3 years has been very unusual. We had negative PDO and 2 La Ninas, which resulted in not quite normal, above normal. And last year's El Nino did not, although it produced below normal, did not quite produce a drought because of this factor. Okay. As a matter of fact, we had discussed last year, because El Nino year, they didn't make the prediction they made in 2015. They were careful and they said it's around normal. And although, if you remember, August was terrible, it turned out to be not quite a drought. Okay. And August, you look at this August, that was spectacularly long break, which are not necessarily explained why after a very good July and very bad August. So there are a number of things not understood. Now, before I go into details about this year's monsoon, I want to bring in what I discovered recently, which bothers me. If you look at the interest in internal variation from the last 100 years, because of the role of Sir Gilbert Walker, we are focused on El Nino, La Nina. That's a major this one. But if you look at actual internal variation of constant rainfall, based on the work done by Iran and many others, 150 years traffic and day, you'll find that the quasi-biennial period, that is 2.7 years, has a variance of 66%. Okay, very, very high. This is nothing, this is only 14% El Nino. Okay, because it comes once in 4 or 5 years. And the so-called 11-year solar cycle, that has around 11% variance. So to me, we should be focusing on this. Nobody has done it. There's a lot of discussion. I'm not in a single paper focusing on it. As a matter of fact, was Ahinga published a paper. He was actually in the US many years ago. He published a paper trying to forecast rainfall based on past rainfall and nothing else. And he came out right for a few years. It was very impressive. Okay? But then method failed. Why did the method fail? Method failed because this variance cannot be fitted with any linear. These two fitted linear fits he made for the time series. This is cool. So it given during that work technique to explain or try to predict this variance, and he was right for a few years, then he went completely wrong. So those of you who do machine learning or AI should look at it. Maybe there are better ways to do it. Okay. So the reason I'm concerned about this, recently I saw a paper by a well-known person, the second author in the paper, I think, Timmerman. He's saying the binary oscillation is white noise. If that's the case, we should shut down this discussion and go home. Nothing to do. It's white noise anyway, so you cannot predict it. Okay? So to me, this is a very important issue. I'm not too happy with the paper, although we can read it, because the time series used is very small. If you want to predict a signal noise, you need a good time series. But I think he has a point that the variation in this time scale is so random, it looks like white noise. If that's the case, there is no hope of predicting. If that's the case, internal variation prediction is not a very good. Except really extreme years like El Nino, La Nina, that's okay. Those years we can do that. All the other years we have no real basis for prediction. Think about it. To me, this issue has never been discussed. I've never seen anyone worry about it. But to me, based on this paper and this variance analysis, to me, it looks like if this is true, and this is variance that cannot be explained, there is not much future in predicting next year's rainfall. Although it may be easier to predict 5-year mean rainfall, for example, that may be okay, but not next year. Okay. So other thing I want to point out is this year everybody is predicting a good monsoon year based on all the past and past. But the thing that's not being discussed is that whether this year will be a good monsoon or not will depend on when will the transition to El Nino occur. So right now, near 3.4 around 0.35 something recent value. It has crossed go negative and ideally goes near 9.5. Now that doesn't happen in the same month in different years. So this part, other people in the world don't worry about. If you are about Indian monsoon, you are worried about the value of 3.4 in July. Okay? If by July the La Nina is not signal not there, then chances are very low. So you can hear What happened in 2016? Why did I go wrong? Look at it. It made -0.5 in August. Okay. August, September, October, yeah, August. And so performance in the early part was not that good. And here, of course, we already in La Nina, there was slight fluctuation, which is normal. And here, look at 2022, it was well above normal. And then, so to me, this issue is never addressed by people that, yes, we know today this La Nina is going to come, that's almost 100% sure. But question is when? If it comes in December, we have nothing to look at. As a matter of fact, we keep looking at the papers on La Nina, be very careful. Most people in the world use DJF as a criteria. Okay? We cannot use it. DJF is irrelevant to us, except last year DJF, which Arindam used in the paper. This year's DJF value is irrelevant to this year's monsoon, obviously, because it occurs after the monsoon. So you have to be careful when people label El Nino or La Nina, depending on what period they use. Okay. Now, I just saw a recent paper. I bring it to your attention here. I'm on the slide with that. Yeah. So this paper has an interesting point about what's happening in the last 8 years. This one. Okay? The only thing I don't like about this, just for your understanding, I don't like people taking an 8-year mean and subtracting a 18-year mean. That's not right. All of you know why. Because you are filtering out various time scales. I don't know why they did that. I have not looked at the paper in detail, so look at it. But the interesting point about this paper is, in the last 8 years here, rainfall is above normal annual mean. This is not JJA. This is something to do with climate change. So rainfall above normal, Africa, India, China, America, and so on, and below normal in both the southern hemispheres here. And we are talking about regime shift. We are talking about various issues. Again, I'm not going to the paper. Please read it and make your own judgment about maybe are we going to regime shift. Because if you look at the last 10 years, just when we had here, this is an unusual 10-year period with so many La Ninas and so on. So a regime shift issue is possible, but how do you define regime shift is a bit of a tricky issue. Okay? There are a lot of statistics involved, a lot of insights involved. Suddenly they'll say this is regime shift. I'm not happy about it. If anybody's seen a better paper, I would like to look at it. Okay, now this year we started close to 2 in December, January, and it has plummeted very rapidly, really remarkable. And I remember 1 week it went down by 0.6 degrees, which happens when there's a rapid upwelling in the eastern open. Now I can see that it already is 0.35 this week, and I'm sure it will go along this line. But this is not enough. I think we should be reaching around this within a month or so. If we don't, the early part of the monsoon will not be that good. Now, this is a reference to Arindam's paper, which is very relevant to today's discussion because he divided all events into 9 labels depending on the winter condition and the summer condition. Okay? And in this plot, we are hoping to be in La Nina this summer, okay, with a winter El Nino. This is one we're looking at. And according to Arindam, there is 8% chances of around 9% normally. Okay? So this is consistent with what all the models are saying. Essentially, some kind of climatology. Whenever you have a El Nino La Nina transition, you're going to get close to 10% above normal. Now, in Arindam's supplementary material, that paper, he identified this line. This blue line is a La Nina, El Nino La Nina transition. It goes from 1.5 to 2 and so on. But I want to notice that this is a mean of, I'll show you, mean of 9 cases. Okay? Now, the mean does not always reveal everything. You have to be careful about that. So it shows that in most cases, this transition is quite rapid. Okay? By May, this year has not happened. In this case, by May, it has gone to negative, may not gone negative yet. In June, it is -0.5, very good. That's what you want. But I'm not sure it's going to happen this year. That's the problem. Okay. So somebody has to look at the rate of transition. And somebody has to look at the ocean model and under what condition does the 3.4 rapidly decline and when it does not. That is an issue that has not been looked at. Okay, now let me, from Arindam's supplementary material paper, I identify all the, this I will identify. I added one more, the published paper before that. And it is look at all these guys up to here. Everybody is about 918, so 1920 is there. Let's say about 950. Then look at these two. Very unusual. Okay. So last three transitions from La Nina to La Nina have not been as good as the previous 7 or 8. Okay. So that means should be some other factors playing a role, which is not giving you this kind of number. Okay. Yeah. So this is the graph I've drawn, which is an expansion of what Arindam did. I have taken many cases of El Nino La Nina transition, showing you that by the month of June, only in a few years did the 3.0 go below 0.5. 3 or 4 cases it was well above. So that is an issue. So this is a repeat. I think we have already seen this. Okay, I think I'll push that. Okay, now we also have to look at how the warm water volume in the Pacific affects the way that happens. So you can see here one example from 2008, 2010. It started bobbing, but it didn't start to El Nino. It went one more year, and then enough heat stored, it went rapidly up, and then it rapidly cooled. Okay. This is a classic, and you can see again, in January is 1.5, but in June it was minus 0.5. This is 2010. This year has also gone down, but not to minus 0.5. Yeah, we are somewhere here, 0.35 in May. But it may still come down and can roll it up. This is the picture for this year. So the main point is, if you look at the 4 years here, the rate of change is not as good as it goes like that, it looks slow. But as I can tell you, it can change depending on how strong the upper limit is. It can come down rapidly. But it's critical for a monsoon. What are the predictions by various models? This is from the Bureau of Meteorology in Australia. And you can see that out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 models, 4 are showing negative in June, 5, and 2 are like 1 now, including this has already been carried by Bureau of Meteorology's prediction of not very good. So tends to be on the positive side. And this is for September. Okay, so this is good news. So this to me tells me we are guaranteed to get a good rainfall in September. Other things being unchanged, but in June, I am not so sure. Okay, this is what IOD is, and except for the unusual IOD last year, this year is already it's hovering around 0. We don't know what's going to happen. Okay, and the problem with IOD is it is also linked to what's happening in Pacific Ocean. Okay, so what is the prediction of IOD? IOD prediction this year in June also got positive, and mean is around 0.7, 0.6, and then you look at September, all of them go to around 0.4. So I don't know whether it's going to have any. Anyway, the good news is positive, not negative. Okay, let's look at the actual. These 3.5 is okay, gives the overall picture. But it's very important to focus on the spatial pattern of SH anomaly. And you notice immediately it's a huge positive anomaly in the North Pacific. The highest in this picture is taken on 24th May, 2 days back. And a large positive anomaly over India. Okay. Which is an IOD here, but remember that as soon as you have a large positive anomaly in the Arabian Sea, you're guaranteed above normal water vapor. Okay? Even if circulation weakens, monsoon may be normal. That's the advantage of this warming of the Arabian Sea. Okay? And then, of course, there's a developing La Nina right now here. And Atlantic also is very warm. Okay, and what role it has on the Indian monsoon, I'm not so sure. There have been papers, but there is no clear verdict on that. Okay? But I want you to keep track of this because this is a signal of negative PDO. Okay. So again, negative PDO is coming along with La Nina, and I think that is why most models are saying it will be a good rainfall year because two factors are in our favor. If one is against you, then you're in trouble. In this case, both are in favor. And this is a long-term variation. This is not going to change from month to month. It's a long term. It has been there for a long time. We're looking at the last 5 years, and I'm still sitting there. Okay. Yeah. So this is the negative PDO. If you look at the EO pattern, this is what it looks like. And this is what we see. This feature is what you see. Okay. Yeah, but if you look at the time series of PDO, it is high virtually. What is a little bit? It's called something a decade oscillation. It is showing month-by-month variation, which I'm not happy about. Anybody can explain to me why a decadal oscillation has month-to-month fluctuation? I'm not happy about it, but of course, the smarter people do some filtering, get rid of the monthly values, and give you a nice-looking long-term variation. And so that's showing that there is a slight tendency for it to change. Okay? We don't want it to change. So there is a possibility there. This is I think this is remember right, this is the blue line represents 5 running mean, yeah. And this is yearly average, this is monthly, yearly 5 years. Okay, now if you want to make prediction for next year or this year, we have to worry about these what we call as return variability. All this El Nino, PDO, all return variability of the what percent from all the heat is transport below ocean atmosphere. And this graph, this again for climate change, just want to make sure. So in climate change discussion, they always say if you want to predict what will happen next decade, then you have to worry about return variability most of them. If you worry about what will happen 100 years from now, you have to worry about scenario, whether you're going to net zero or not. So remember that key difference. So those who are interested next year, next 5 years, 10 years, have to very much worry about this factor. And this dotted line shows the role of assimilation of data. Right? You want to do well in the short term scale, you better have ability to initialize ocean data in your model. So that you cannot get that. And the model, as you know, we all know models are not perfect, but the model is quite small. We want to predict next year's rainfall and next few years, but this dominates from that. So that's why we have to worry about this very much in the short term. Okay, another way to draw the graph. I like this better. This internal variability. This is the scenario. This is the model. This I like the graph is you're looking at long term. Scenario is more important than the model. People keep saying models are useless, why you're wasting time. Fact is, really, what will happen in the year 2100 will depend on what we do now. Scenario, how you cut down CO2 emissions. Yeah, one plays a role, but not as much. But if you look at next 10 years, model is important as well as turn variability is natural. And scenario, of course, is not relevant. Okay. Now, when we look at 3.4, we must also know that the change in the tropical Indian Ocean, this is not IOT, this is the mean temperature of the Indian Ocean as defined here somewhere. Yeah, large south, north, everything. It sort of follows the 3.4 by lag of around 6 months. Okay, now we already saw in the water vapor volume plot that the heat pattern has gone the negative phase, but that's why temperature is falling rapidly. So this is what we should be examining, how quickly it falls. And that also depends upon how quickly the cold water just beneath the surface is going to occur here in the region. Okay. Yeah, so I said almost all models, IRI, everybody is predicting that by December, it will be almost 85% chance of El Nino. But we are interested in somewhere here. It is 50-50. That's a problem. Okay. That's what is going to determine the monsoon's future. Yeah, so these are the predictions from within the statistical model. Brown is dynamical. Yeah, brown is dynamical, this is statistical. And this is the final. Okay, this is what puzzles me. This is what they provide consolidated. Now, this is a little worrying. I don't know why. Why should the consolidated be not in between these two? Does anybody have an idea? I don't have an idea. So normally, if you use two models, statistical and dynamical, then you make a judgment. It usually comes in between. So I don't know why it comes outside this. My gut feeling is that based on past records, both these are suspect. And that's why they're putting this. That's my suspicion. But if somebody has read a paper which justifies why your consensus consolidated thing is outside the mean of these two. Maybe the way they weighted it's not given in that website. Maybe the way they weighted these models may have been different. That's possible. Okay. Now this one is from the South Korean website, EPEC, and I like it better because the pure models and things are more clearly done. And again, all I want to show you the two of the models are claiming El Nino will be there in June. Few models are saying around 0. Only a few models are saying it will be La Nina by June. Okay, not in that. Okay. Now, what is the forecast? What's going to happen next few days? This is 24 forecast. I just downloaded yesterday, and the way I'm pointing out is that there's a lot of rain in Kerala now. Okay? So very soon I will declare Kerala onset. It will be done. Okay, but it has nothing to do with what's going to happen for the whole of India. Okay? Now again, there's a history here. Remember that before satellite came, that is 1960, the only hint about monsoon coming to India was Kerala. They had no other knowledge. Okay, so Kerala became central and very famous population. But today, I think we should get again one option in Kerala. We should look at what is all India onset. Not being done. For example, the well-known technique that IIT uses to predict Kerala onset is very good, but it doesn't tell you anything about all India onset. But when we reach here, it works. Okay, but I think we'll have arranged in 2 weeks' time. Next week we don't have a discussion because of the evaluation. So on 12th of June, I think we'll look at these issues in more detail. But this year I want to point out the peculiar synoptic phenomenon because cyclone that hit Bangladesh and Calcutta 2 days ago, the wind picked up here. So the gale response and a lot of rain occurred only here, nowhere else. Okay. As a matter of fact, very interesting thing about the IPL final. There was a fear of rain on Sunday, but because this intensified, that rain came. Very interesting. How sensitive, not only the very interesting issue, how weather affects sports. Normally, dew appears in Chennai in the evening, all coastal area. In the qualifier 2, it didn't happen, and it benefited one team. And that's because the wind was blowing this way, not this way. Normally in Chennai, I've been there many years. In the evening, the wind blows from ocean to land. The land breeze. And so the moisture comes in, and by 8, 9 o'clock, we have dew. But on that day, because of the cyclone, it moved that way, there was no dew. So this is one of the interesting issues. Okay, now this is the rainfall prediction for day after tomorrow. Okay. And you can see clearly because of the effect of that cyclone still there's a lot of rainfall on the coast. And so onset will be declared either tomorrow or the day after. But after that, things will not look too good. Okay. Let's see why. Okay, so that cyclone induced large westerly wind which went around. But still there's enough zonal wind here will give you a lot of rain, both Sri Lanka and India. Okay, so this is the well-known method that IMD uses for monsoon onset. They use rainfall, they use wind field, now they use overall. Remember previously, before satellites came, this was the main thing and this also was used. But now, because of satellite data, you can look at a larger region, which could not be done earlier, and of course overall. So to me this find the objective method, which was satellite data, rain gauge data as well as wind data from the ocean. So they are done quite well. But that's only onset of Kerala. It says nothing about what happened, how the monsoon will proceed further. That is not clear. Okay, so what's the forecast from GFS from yesterday actually, and you can see that I'm surprised it's going up per day because it's raining only many over Kerala, of course, and West Bengal. Then it sort of weakens slightly methods of 2nd June and then decays sort of. So from here it's clear that the monsoon is going to be below normal the next week at least. Okay? Anyway, on 12th June, Arina will tell you what was going to happen and what are the reasons. Okay. Now let's go to the actual forecast made by both IMD and SkyMet for this year. Okay. Now this is the tercile technique, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Okay, and you can see that IMD saying IMD is saying only 10% chance of in the lower tercile. SkyMet is saying 25. Okay. This is similar to 2016. Then look at above normal, 4% and above normal, 61%. SkyMet is saying 30%. So there's a factor of 2 difference. So we'll know at the end of this discussion in September who came out right. Okay? So to me, this is not mind up, they're huge. And 2 days back, they issued a modified forecast. We didn't change this part, but slightly changed this part. And I'm not highlighting it because I'm a little concerned that they didn't bother to add up and see that it's not 100%. But that simple error should be, all of you have to be alert. When you're issuing a public forecast, you can't have a total of 100%. Okay? I hope they'll correct it. Okay, now what are the regional forecasts? Regional forecasts go by what we already understand. Over central India, of course, almost 70% chance of a normal rainfall. This is 100% above. Slight chance of slight chance of 28% chance of below normal and 24. So if they add these two, central India is in good shape. But if you look at Northeast India, this is not surprising. We all know that rainfall anomalies in Northeastern India go in the opposite direction. So we have to do with that. That's what you see. And the cold zone is, of course, very similar to Atlantic. Okay. Now let's look at the ways. There have been 2 forecasts for season rainfall, one in April 15, the first LRF, and the second LRF. There is hardly any difference except slight increase here, and Jammu and Kashmir there is a large increase. Otherwise, the spatial pattern probably looks very similar. Okay, the SkyMet issued a forecast. I've shown that already there. So this is a little more detail in terms of month-wise, June, July, August, September, and I think they'll not get June right. That's my suspicion. They'll get September right because on the 99 hours become a bit over normal. But let's see whether this to me looks very chance. Okay. Okay. So what is IMD's forecast for June, which they issued 2 days back? So for June, IMD, I think correctly realizes that the monsoon does not go much beyond 29. This region will be not getting the monsoon or much lower rainfall compared to Central and South India. And because of that, you can see the heat wave prediction, duration of heat wave will be quite large. So these are connected. The monsoon doesn't come on time in North India in June, you're in trouble. Okay. Those of you who lived in Delhi and Kanpur, where I lived, it's a tough situation. If the monsoon is delayed, the heat will get getting worse and worse. Okay, now let's look at forecasts from other centers. This is from ECMWF, and this is June, July, August, not September, and it was made in March, early. And they seem to indicate very high chance of Arabian Sea, South India, but this portion is normal. Then you look at in CMWF, they also show forecast. Okay, this is doing the Rabi, and it's saying June, July, August will be above normal. Okay? They give you a millimeter per day, somewhere here. And then they give monthly forecast. I like this because at the end of this discussion, we will compare their predictions with what actually are. So according to them, June will be slightly not so good, and July is very good, August good, September now will comparable. Now, one thing I found interesting in NCBR prediction, which is their prediction, 3.4, which is similar to both one. Look at the IoT. So much, can't believe it. Vinay is not around, but I think it shows that ability to predict IoT by climate models is quite poor, looks like. Because like the spread is almost -2 to +2. We almost there. Okay. So that's bad news. If you think the IoT is going to put monsoon, your ability to predict is very low. And you can see here, almost 50-50 mostly compared to this, 3. Okay. Now let's look at prediction from this is I forget now. This is I forget that where I got it from. This is European Center. Okay? And what I want to compare this is the first April and first May prediction. Okay? And 600 simulation. Okay? Sorry. The forecast 51 for the 600 is quite a large number. And they're showing, I want you to just look at in April and May. In April, they said June will be quite close to normal. In May, they are pushing it up a little bit. Okay? But look at July also. It's shown to be normal. Now it has been slightly more. August is more, and September also more. So this is the prediction from, I believe, Asian building. Yeah, I'll check what the source was. This is CFSV2, that is the one from US. And this is for May, June, July, last week of April, and there's no signal over India. Almost none. Okay. I must check whether it has changed now or not. Now let's look at IRI, which was a multi-mountain wheel issued in April. And so you have seen that South India is going to have a normal and North India is below normal, mainly because of June. June is May, June, July, not covered August per year. So June is one is particularly here. Then you go to again April, but July, August, September, things improve. Still, the Orissa looks like below normal. Now you go to the May condition. June, July, August looks because August now a little better. Again, coast of Orissa looks a little low. And you look at July, August, September, not much change. Okay. So, but in May and June, there is not, April, May condition, there's not much difference in the probability. Now, this is CFSV2 website. I looked at each month separately for April, and you can see they are predicting July, pretty good rainfall over Turkey and India. There's a little east coast in that, and probably also only here. And now you can see from there, I don't know, there are so many models here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 models. The reason I put this up is most models are predicting in the month of June. Normal. Yeah, name was slightly off, but look at this income. Many of us have used income model for PhD students. I'm surprised it's so far off model. So we'll know whether the June report, if this is going to be the case, then the monsoon onset is not going to be on time. Okay? And this issue I didn't will discuss on 12th. But if you look at July, slightly better, but still that Orissa coast and other regions are circular normal. By September, things are, so by August, things are improving. But this is very interesting. We will keep an eye on that and see what happens. And this is what? This is the, of course, the SST. And I wanted to check how the SST evolves in different models. And you can see that in most models by July, there's a well developed cold tongue in all of them, right? Except the Now let's look at this is from APEC. Little more detail in that than in other cases. APEC clearly says on 15th April, then May to July will be about normal except this 100. And what it is, there's a huge negative anomaly all across this. So to me, this is what the Romberg, and let's see if they come out right. This is a clear dipole here. Okay. So essentially, effect of La Nina is causing descent here all the way to East Asia, but not India. Now, this has to be kept in mind because this is very tricky for a model to predict. Slight changes in the way circulation occurs can alter this completely. Okay? So let's keep a watch on this and see whether they come out right in this picture. Okay? And this is based on more recent one, May. Slight change I want you to notice over East Asia. That has gone. So this thing is still there over Pacific, but over East Asia, it's sort of normal. Now, this is the CFS V2 June SH anomaly, and it really all the way to one of these based on April. And this is sea surface temperature. I've done a close-up over India. I wanted to remember this feature that anomalies over Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean. So this is going to help us irrespective of what happens to circulation. Okay, what's the 4-week forecast we could also discuss in these meetings? This is this week, not surprising that cyclone uses rainfall here, but look at what happens next week. Okay, there's still rainfall in Kerala, but rest of India is gone. Then here, look at this. This shows that the answer having go to Kerala is not going to go further. And then even in the second week, not looking too good. So this issue I will not elaborate on because Arindam is going to spend a lot of time on it. This is the all India forecast for the next 4 weeks. This week is above 50%, which is quite surprising because rainfall is only for that region. So I don't know how you 50% above. Then next week it is 4% above. Okay? And the week after is minus 10%. So surely onset is not moving up. And even week 4 is minus 5%. Okay? So this will change. So we'll look at it as we go along. Okay, this is a more colorful picture, same thing, more shown in terms of various subdivisions. And clearly you can see that 7 to 30 June, there is not much most of India except here. And even the next week, most of the region not going to cover. Okay, now here is the prediction from ECMWF, and you can see clearly. So can they claim or something other from rain contains the country. They get out of Bangalore and the other places. But the week after, whole of India became. So this clearly showing that the monsoon onset is stalled in some sense. Okay? As a matter of fact, this has been discussed many times in the last 20-25 years. If the onset occurs tomorrow or day after, it will be called a bogus onset. That is not a real onset of India, onset only over Kerala. It doesn't proceed further. And so a lot of papers are there. You can look it up. Okay. Okay. So today's sketch of the where the monsoon is shown right here. The blue line. Okay. So you can see the blue line is ahead of the first June line. According to IMD, over Bay of Bengal, the monsoon is ahead of time. Okay. But let me tell you, I've asked many people, nobody given an answer. I don't know how they draw this line over the ocean. If you have land, you have rainfall data, wind data, so many things to define onset. How do you define onset over the ocean? I don't know. But they're not in lines. So somebody has to figure out who does it and how is it done. What is the exact methodology used to define this line? It's all over the ocean. So I presume they use some satellite data. But yeah, if you look at water vapor anomalies, you will see clearly up to here anomaly is positive. But that's partly due to cyclone. So I don't know whether that can be real criteria. Okay, so that completes my presentation. Any questions you can?
Blocks. In extension of financial sector. You showed the commission on having in 1983, self-stated present.
Yeah.
83
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I'm going to check. I saw it. I realized. So I'm going to look up. Next time I'll talk to you about that. So yeah, and I saw it. I realized that it got delayed. It's not a good monsoon here. Then I find a fun. Take a good one. A good one. Anybody else?
The policy point of view, from the policy point of view, from the government policy point of view, what do you think more important that they now India is forecast range is like 92%. So they decrease those themes, like if they make it 2%, 3%, or they focus more on the regional time scale. I know, I know this side is
right? So there are no questions on that issue. I think the best time I took it convenient. But the other one, anyway, I don't do the same. I don't do that. I go to 100% that. Maybe 100, 400. Yeah, I don't know what is the basis of that definition. And obviously, it can't be too small. The kind of data we have, even if it's too small, we don't have. So I have no idea how sensitive these things are for those 5 minutes. But I think we may talk, so we can go back.
Yeah. So you mentioned that there is a 2-year radiation which has a lot of people and 60% uncertainty.
Yeah.
The 2-year, what is happening in the and
Yeah.
the next year.
Yeah.
How do we know that that is the number of uncertainty? First question is what is that uncertainty? Second is what is the bar?
So I have people of that. Staying at time city and we will be increasing more confidence without it being very more. I like that because that one compared to the other does not impose your view on the free system will be very important. Okay. So it says that the government bond is from the US. And it can explain 50% of the variation. That's what it's saying. Now, if that variation is noisy, is not predictable, one can right.
But it explains 66%.
How do you 60%?
That is
That also well.
how do we know if that is right?
Now, that should be the I got the paper, I give the name, but I didn't use the right marks to your company. So I don't, it was rule of my background is engineering. I'm a veteran guy, I love veteran. I got that play out. Okay, so I'm supposed to remind that this important variability of the monsoon is completely accurate. But we read the paper, I don't know, we have read the paper, right? My concern is I'm not in this. Very classifying, because white noise, let them not get, but it's not a clean, you read the paper. My objective is the time is to resolve. And why? Because I'm probably going to put a job that paper. Unfortunately, 80 gentlemen to 19 and 2023 and do it again for that. Because to classify a certain standards as white noise, you have to make judgment, not officially. But let me tell you, quite clear the way that cancer looks like, it is quite noisy. The white noise, I don't know. But it is not, that's why I look at I know paper, what it is. We tried very hard. He's a very smart guy. Statistics. We tried very hard to compare the statistics with it, but in that part, we couldn't try even to do that one. Okay. But we did this almost 50 years ago. So basically, I put the same time series and see whether you can come with a better AAM result. Right, very possible, right? I want to do it. But AAM is one long time series. You don't have it, only one year of that. But I don't know, I'm covered, way to find out. But what because even the longer back, at this time, AM was not even common. So all of you can look at it and run all this poster, try something and see. You can predict that even the 50% success, I would say, is very important. Because anything on London is only 40%. That is 60%. Even if you are right, how that line? Very good. So that's why I think all of this is market. Please read the Timmerman and okay. Timmerman is not very much updated. You can read a lot of reads in the paper. And Timmerman he can publish a recent book on mixed climate change. Very good book. These are Harvard and it's not somewhere else. So it's a very good scientist. But I was a little disappointed that it took a very short time. I think 92 years of part of the wrong. So I'm wondering how accurate that is. But I can assure you, if anybody can predict this correctly, he will be a great guy. Very noisy. Goes up and down, that's going on. It goes up and down every day. And I don't think it's not surprising. That is it. And you have to present on that. Why do you think it is not surprising? To me, surprising. I think why I spent a lot of time in other paper published by here or the late company. Who argue I like it, but it is wrong. What is okay, good monsoon this year? I think it's so long. Because it goes down next year, then that's what paper. Except in the crowd. Next in the crowd here, the ring goes down, everything comes up. It's very nice. Okay? And it's not a whole model, model eventually clear control. It's going to be back here, the whole thing. A series of blocks. But remember, the whole thing is answer. So to make it interesting debate, reality may be different, maybe partially difficult partially and normal. But it's worth studying. Huh? Just to follow. So if the variance explains so best, some questions, how come this response, here or 22 the quick period associated, yeah, how come this mode has included the function discourse associated? You're right. I tell you, I saw it this year. I read because the variance can't come into all this category. It explains so much variance. How come people have not put all their things down? I don't know. Political and look at that. Not maybe over paper. Those are not useful. That's the whole thing. So all people don't look at it, but you may have looked at it. So one thing I can tell all of you, don't ever be scared of big guys saying something not possible. Let's go. Because there are new data and new things, we don't know. But I think a lot of people throw it and when I come to it, that this is all randomly, there's no doubt. But what we look at it is that in the other way to clear out is there any figure. But what Harinam would say is nationally it is right now. So he should operate better why it is like I don't understand. Okay. Okay, so repeat on 12 June. Yeah.
One of the sections show that from Delhi to Kalyan years, Delhi to Kalyan years, recent years, particularly 1998, 2016, the rainfall, the total JDS rainfall has dropped down as compared to the previous. So I was wondering that can the West Pacific anticyclone can have the role because this is a kind of favor.
Possibility is there. That's that's very important. And this comes from that. I'm calling the people of that. It is preparation excuse me, I don't like it. Or it is focus on. So I want you to focus on one of the what we call more
बीजी
what is that? So
आप जा सकते हैं
I think the
आप जा सकते हैं
Hello. Can you hear me? Or
Hello.
there is something? Yeah. Lochna, can you?
Yes, I can hear
Yeah.
you, Jay.
Okay. So I moved away from this to, I couldn't hear them. I had to go near them. So you missed some of the discussion. Do you have any question?
No, I have no specific question. Let me go through your PPT
Okay.
and check. But you
Sure.
know, I was hoping that you will also talk about the Pune heat low.
Pune heat low. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I thought I'll focus on the monsoon this time.
Okay, which is fine. I realize that you have decided.
So I'm
this
waiting
is
for.
not true. But
yeah,
other things,
yeah.
other things, there was no problem at all.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Pune heat thing is, I have to talk to Rajivan. Rajivan is the person to, I'll talk to him. He's gone to Trivandrum. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Then I will chat with him and we'll discuss one of these weeks.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, because we were discussing that recently,
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering whether you would do it. But the other thing is fine. The El Nino La Nina thing was very clear.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
and I agree with most of your comments there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.